Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nate Denise for those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video. And today's video, as the title says, is going to be my October Book of the Month picks. So I went on the Book of the Month website and I was really intrigued by all of the books that they had up there. So I ended up going with an actual Book of the Month pick. I went with one of their October add-ons. And I also went with a backlist from like last month or the month prior. I think it was last month though. But yeah, for those of you who don't know what Book of the Month is, I'll briefly explain what it is. It's basically a book subscription service in which you pay $14.99 for 1 credit, and you use that 1 credit to buy a brand new hardcover book. It can be a new release, an early release, a backlist, a new edition of a book, any type of book, doesn't matter the size. Here are a few of my Book of the Month books. As you can tell, they are a little bit bigger than a normal sized hardcover is, which is totally fine by me. I don't mind it at all. But how they do it is every month they pick 5 books. Normally they have a good selection. They always have some historical, they always have a contemporary. There may be fantasy, there may be young adult, there may be classic, there may be a thriller, a mystery, a suspense, a romance, things like that. So you pick one of the 5 for that month as your actual book of the month, and then outside of that you can always add on 2 additional books for $9.99 a piece, which they call add-ons. So you have 2 additional books that you can get from any of their selections from the current month, the previous month. They normally add about 9 to 10 books a month, but they always have a set 5 that are like actual Book of the Month picks, and then they have another 4 or 5 that are additional add-ons that you can go for. So I prefer to do add-ons. They don't have a system where you can just pick any book. You have to actually have a Book of the Month pick. Now, if you don't want a Book of the Month, they do have an option when you scroll down to the bottom where you can pick a member's favorite, and they'll pick 5 books from their members favorite section that you can pick from to make it your Book of the Month. I'm still waiting on them to graciously fix that, because sometimes I don't want a Book of the Month, or sometimes I don't care for the members favorites. I just want to be able to pick a book from the website and get it. That's how I prefer to do it, but I'm hoping that they get that fixed sometime soon. But you're basically paying anywhere from about $15 to $35 for 1 to 3 hardcover books, brand new, and they're specially printed and made by Book of the Month. As you can see, they have Book of the Month logos on the dust jackets as well as the hardcover books. So I think that's pretty much it, all I want to say. They are trying to get a little better at diversifying their books. Normally their books were not really diversified, but now I do see them trying. It's a little slow, but they're definitely getting there. They always have at least 2 or 3 PLC books on their Book of the Month picks, which is getting better. But I think that is pretty much it, all I want to say about the Book of the Month service. I don't think there's anything else. If there is, you can just quickly either go to my Book of the Month playlist, where I've been getting Book of the Month for a while. I also have a video where I showed, I guess, my Book of the Month bookshelf from I think a year or a couple months ago. I do not have a Book of the Month shelf anymore because I just threw them on my shelves where they belong, but I'm thinking of redoing that and making a dedicated Book of the Month shelf, just because I love the way Book of the Month books look. As you can see, they're really nice with their spines and the color codes of their actual symbols. But this month I went with 3 books, like I said, so I did spend $35, which is not a problem. It comes in a blue box that says Book of the Month on it, and didn't open it, didn't look at it. I know what I got though. So when you open up your box, now again, it's not wrapped up. I've said this for the past 2 months now, 3rd month, books haven't been wrapped. I'm hoping they go back to wrapping them in November or December, just because I like the fact that they had them wrapped up, because it kept my books safe when they were left out in the rain. Luckily my mail people are very good at ringing my doorbell and waiting for me to get to the door to give me my packages. But just in case, you know, snow is about to come, it's about to be raining real heavy, I hope they go back to wrapping their books, because that was like an added security for me to make sure that my books were safe. But the first thing in here is another Book of the Month bookmark. It's a white one. Again, I think I got a white one last month as well. This one says "Get Lost in a Story That Is." And I love their Book of the Month bookmarks. I normally laminate them and I use them all over. I just have a bunch. So we have a bookmark. And then my Book of the Month pick was The Invisible Life of Addie, Larue by B.E. Schwab. I have read the Darker Shade trilogy. I don't know if it's called Shades of Magic, but I call it the Darker Shades trilogy. I read that trilogy. I read Vicious. I have not read Vengeful. I read the duet that she has, the YA sci-fi duet. I read the first book. I didn't read the sequel. I'm bad at reading her sequels, but I was hyped and excited for this. Now, a lot of people enjoy the writing, but they don't like the way that this story was sold to us, because apparently it was sold as a girl who falls in love with the devil, but that's not how the book is written. And I did watch Mayana's video. It was a rant review that she did on this book, and she said she liked the book, but she couldn't give it the rating she wanted because of how they sort of marketed the book. So I've heard that with a lot of people, they really enjoyed the writing, but because of how it was marketed, they went into this thinking that it was going to be a young girl that falls in love with the devil. So I'm not going to go into this with that sort of mindset. I'm just going to go into this as like any old fantasy novel, just to enjoy it. But I love that book of the month is finally getting into gold foiling. I've been saying for months that I wish they would do gold foiling, and they have finally done that. So the foiling on this is really nice on here. So it has the book of the month logo on the top, on the side, on the back. The actual book is going to be black and a mustard yellow, but you also have that book of the month logo here, and it always tells you the month and the year that you got your book. So for this, it says October 2020. So yeah, so I'm gonna read the inside of it. It says, never pray to the gods that answer after dark. France, 1714. In a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. As she realizes the limitation of her Faustian, I think that's how you say that, Faustian bargain, being able to live forever without being able to be remembered by anyone she sees. Addie chooses to flee her small village as everything she once held dear is torn away. But there are still dreams to be had and a life to live, and she is determined to find excitement and satisfaction in the wide, beckoning world, even if she will be doomed to be alone forever. Or not quite alone, as every year on her birthday, the alluring Luke comes to, I think that's how you say that, Luke comes to visit, checking to see if she is ready to give up her soul. Their darkly thrilling game stretches through the ages, seeing Addie witness history and fight to regain herself as she crosses oceans and tries on various lives. It will be 300 years before she stumbles into a hidden bookstore and discovers someone who can remember her name, and suddenly everything changes again. In the vein of The Time Traveler's Wife and Life After Life, The Invisible Life of Addie Larue is best-selling authors V.E. Schwab's genre-defying tour de force. So it doesn't say anything about a devil in the synopsis, so I'm not sure why they marketed it as that, but I'm excited. It's a historical fantasy. Hopefully it's good. Like I said, I'm going to go into this without the mindset of it being a young girl who falls in love with the devil. It sounds interesting. It sounds intriguing. So I'm excited to have this. My second book was one I was really interested in reading because I read from this author before, and I just wasn't invested in that book. And it's Naomi Novik, and I got a deadly education from her. Now, I did read Spinning Silver. I was not a fan of that. Just the writing was, I don't know, it was something with the book I just couldn't care for. It dragged on for me, so I did give that book, I think, a 3.5 or 3-star rating. I have not read her other one, Uprooted, but I do own the ebook of it. But I've heard a lot of people raving about this. Apparently, this is set up where you go to a school, and in order to graduate, you have to survive, and if you fail, you die, basically. So it sounds really epic. I know a bunch of YouTubers have been raving about it. So on the front, you have the Book of the Month logo here. On the spine, it's black, and on the back, it's black and white. And it says Fantasy Reads. It does not say the month and the year, but it is a October 2020 pick. And then you have yellow and black, and again, it says Fantasy Reads. So I'm not sure if that's something new that they're doing, but yeah. So the inside says, I decided that Orion Lake needed to die after the second time he saved my life. Everyone loves Orion Lake, everyone else, that is. Far as I'm concerned, he can keep his flashy combat magic to himself. I'm not joining his pack of adoring fans. I don't need help surviving the school of mines. I think that's how you say that. Even if they do. Forget the hordes of monsters and cursed artifacts. I'm probably the most dangerous thing in this place. Just give me a chance and I'll level mountains and kill untold millions to make myself the dark queen of the world. At least that's what the world expects. Most of the other students in here would be delighted if Orion killed me, like one more evil thing that's crawled out of the drains. Sometimes I think they want me to turn into the evil witch they assume I am, and the school certainly does. But the Scholarmance isn't getting what it wants from me, and neither is Orion Lake. I may not be anyone's idea of a shining hero, but I'm going to make it out of this place alive, and I'm not going to slaughter thousands to do it either. Although I'm giving serious consideration to just one. With flawless mastery, Naomi Novik creates a heroine for the ages, a character so sharply realized and so richly nuanced that she will live on in the hearts and minds for generations to come. So if I'm not mistaken, the main character is the daughter of like a good witch or a good queen or something like that, and she's very powerful and people expect her to be the opposite of her mother, I believe, to balance things out. I've heard it from someone, I can't remember exactly who I heard on YouTube explain it that way, but they expect her to be like the evil witch, the evil queen, but she doesn't want to be that. And she has a situation with Orion Lake, who is like the it boy of the school. But I mean, a school where you're trapped and in order to graduate you have to survive, and if you don't pass you fail by dying. Like, I think that's amazing and interesting, so I'm excited to read this. So we have A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Okay, so the third and final book I picked up was by Susanna, Clarke, and it's Piranesi, and I do own her other book, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I haven't read it yet. I plan to, but this one just seemed smaller to try and check out, and I've heard pretty good things about it. And it's kind of like a magical writing with this magic house. But on the cover you have the Book of the Month logo here on the spine. It says fantasy read, so again, I'm not sure if that's a new thing. And then the color for this, oddly enough, is the same as the other two books, where it's that mustard yellow and black, and it says fantasy reads. And I forgot to show you guys, but the actual hardcovers also have the Book of the Month logo. This one says Piranesi and Susanna Clarke, and then it says Bloomsbury Press, which is the company that wrote it. So they all have Book of the Month logos on them, whether it be the front or on the spine. But yeah, I'm going to read the synopsis. So it says, Piranesi's house is no ordinary building. Its rooms are infinite, its corridors endless, its walls are lined with thousands upon thousands of statues, each one different from all the others. Within the labyrinth of halls, an ocean is imprisoned, waves thunder upstairs, rooms are flooded in an instant. But Piranesi is not afraid. He understands the tides as he understands the pattern of the labyrinth itself. He lives to explore the house. There is one other person in the house, a man called the Other, who visits Piranesi twice a week and asks for help with research into a great and secret knowledge. But as Piranesi explores, evidence emerges of another person, and the terrible truth begins to unravel, revealing a world beyond the one Piranesi has always known. For the readers of Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and fans of Madeline Miller's Circe, Piranesi introduces an astonishing new world and an infinite labyrinth full of startling images and surreal beauty, haunted by the tides and the clouds. So, I did read Circe. I wasn't a fan of it. I gave it like a 3-star rating of 3.5. And I have not read The Ocean at the End of the Lane, but it is on my TBR. But this book just really sounds interesting to me, and it sounds like it's going to be a fun read. Hopefully, I enjoy it. But, so, as I said, my add-ons, I only paid $9.99, so $10 each. So these were $20, right? Piranesi sells for $27. A Deadly Education is selling for $28. And then for the V.E. Schwab book, I only paid $15. It's selling for $27. So you literally, for 3 books, I paid $35, and I'm saving a humongous amount of money. So I am excited for these 3 picks. I cannot wait. They are all fantasies, which I don't mind at all. I'm a fantasy lover. Fantasy is my genre. We love it so much, if you guys can't tell from behind me. But yeah, I have my 3 books, and I'm excited to see what they have for November. Fingers crossed there's something good for November. If not, I'll probably just go with a member's favorite and pick a Riley Sager book, because that seems to be what I'm doing now. So hopefully the November picks are interesting enough for me, and if not, like I said, I'll pick a November favorite, member's favorite, I mean. And I think that is it for this. I just wanted to haul these books. I'm thinking of redoing my shelves again and putting all my Book of the Month books on its own shelf. Don't know. I'm debating on it because I am running out of extreme amount of space on my shelves. Like, I have no space whatsoever. But I have an excessive amount of Book of the Month books. I have been getting Book of the Month for a while. I've had several accounts, but I just went back to having the one account just because it's insane, and I pretty much own all the books that I really want from them. But that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are interested in checking out Book of the Month, just use the link down below. If you use my link, I get a credit, you get a credit. It works out. Free books. And I think that's it for this video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.